Everybody, it's Celeste. I was here yesterday. Some of you might have caught the video before I did. I posted a December forecast, and halfway through, when I was watching it, like for quality control, halfway through I noticed that I touched the camera and something changed with the lighting, and there was a horrible glare on the screen, and I was disappointed, but I decided to delete the reading and redo it because I just didn't think it was very pleasant or relaxing or inspiring to watch the way it looked. I know a lot of you like to see the cards, and even though the messages coming through were very, very inspiring, I just decided that it would be better to redo them. So I'm back today to do another December forecast. I'm going to do a pick a deck reading like I did yesterday. If you saw it while it was up for a brief time, I'm going to use the same 3 decks, and I'm just going to get a different reading. Maybe some of the same messages will come out because that does sometimes happen when you're tuned into a storyline. But basically this is a pick a deck reading like I did last month. It's 3 complete readings. I will timestamp each of them so that you can skip to your reading if you want to do the intuitive choosing thing. But if you don't want to choose and you want to watch them all, there might be a nugget of something in there in each of them for you. Could be none of them fits. That does happen sometimes too. If that happens, don't worry about it. Just, go look for another reading that the description talks about what you're going through, because the way that I do my readings is that they're like not meant to be, just for one person. So I try to give, the way that I read the cards is I lean into my empowerment coaching, into my coaching background. And so basically I'm looking for how you can empower yourself in each situation. I'm doing an intuitive reading, but I'm not doing what you might be used to from some other readers, which is more of a psychic reading. I'm tuning into my intuition, into my writing guides, into my guides that guide other areas of my life for messages that people might be going through in their lives, people that are watching. So that said, we've got the Light Seers deck here on this side. That's deck number 1. Deck number 2 is going to be the Everyday Witch Tarot. And deck number 3 is going to be the Crow Tarot. So go ahead and pick your deck if you're going to, be watching just one reading, or you can just, chill out and watch the whole thing. So here we go. We're going to start with the Light Seers. Tuning into the collective spirit. What is going on in the story for this set of people watching the video? Again, you might be a writer watching this, and it doesn't matter to me whether you're an author or whether writing is just a part of your life for these purposes, but I do I lean into fiction writing because that's what I do. But sometimes what I'm saying might trigger something else like that's going on in your writing if you're not writing fiction, and you should go with that, whatever it is. So the process can be equivalent just with different language for different types of writing or even creativity. So, feel free to make adaptations that seem, similar. Ooh, okay, that one wants to come out. We got the 4 of Pentacles reversed. We've got the 4 of Wands, and we've got the King of Wands. So there's definitely a message here of you're trying to build something. You're trying to build a foundation on something that you are extremely passionate about. So you're trying to draw down that passion into the grounded reality and create something from it. This is a little bit similar to one of the messages that we had yesterday. There was a 4 of Pentacles that showed up I think it was actually in the same position in the reading. And what this is saying to me is that you have released your hold on some physical material ideal that you were probably clinging to. It was maybe an idea of, based on these cards, I think it was probably an idea of stability, what you thought stability was. So maybe it was the perfect job, the perfect house, the right amount of money in the bank, the right car. So all those physical trappings that we kind of get stuck in, telling ourselves that that's a happy life and I want to have that. So we start getting wrapped up in going after those things, and we forget about the things that really make our hearts and minds and souls kind of soar. We forget about this, I want to say freedom. So it's funny because the Four of Wands is a stable foundation for happiness. But that stable foundation is about being free to be a soul, to be, set yourself free from all of these things that we cling on to that cover up who we really are. And then in this position here, this is like the near future. This is like what you're heading toward, what you want to be heading toward. Maybe could be desires, could be goals. It could be just the reasonable next step. There's something here about holding back from the true embodiment of what this means for you. Like you're ready to move, you're ready to change. You're actually in the process of changing that in your life. Probably you're building a foundation, but there's still, it's actually, I said King of Wands, it's actually Knight of Wands, which actually enhances what I was saying even more. You are holding back from taking action towards the big goal. So maybe you've been laying the foundation, but you haven't been doing the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like there's all this, sometimes we get like locked in like get ready kind of energy, and we don't actually put any of it into action. I was actually just talking about that the other day. I bought a course a while back and forgot to do it. And lately I've been like needing everything that was in that course. I've been just, the past 3 days, I've just been on a tear going, oh my gosh, I have all this. Like I obviously wanted to learn it. I bought the course and then I didn't do it, and I'm discovering it now, and it's helping me so much. So this is about taking action, needing to take action, wanting to take action. So what's this person not seeing about the situation? What are you not seeing about the situation? Now, what we're not seeing can be secrets. It can be something that somebody else is like, covering up, but it can also be things that we don't see within ourselves. So there's nothing like bad about these secrets necessarily. That kind of will show with what's around it in the cards. So don't worry about this. Okay, so there is a tendency here to like the blinders are on and these birds are kind of like tangling her up. So there's this tendency to like get caught in mindless thinking that doesn't really involve your inner sight. You kind of let your mind get ahead of you. And so this is that back and forth energy of not making a choice or not knowing which way to go. It's a lack of clarity, being torn in two different directions, needing to make a choice, and really just not allowing ourselves to. The King of Cups, reverse. Not allowing yourself to embody what you love. There's a message here for somebody. I'm not getting for everybody, but I'm getting here that there's a message for somebody, that there is somebody special that you're not letting yourself, maybe you guys have had an ending. It's a relationship, maybe. This could be like somebody's, maybe an ex or something that didn't quite manifest for you. Again, we'll see if anything else comes out about that looks like it could be a love reading. I'll let you know. I'm not feeling that really strongly, but my guides were like, that's for someone. So what you're not acknowledging, you're not admitting to yourself that you miss this person or that you wanted them. Death and rebirth. This could be, okay, this could be about either. So this is about change. Maybe you're not wanting to lean into this energy because you're afraid of what you're leaving. You are still like sort of like you've let go of it on the surface, but you're still sort of attached to it ideologically. Like you're in the process of changing those beliefs, but they're still kind of there. And you're just in the process of still letting go of those old paradigms because of this holding back energy. But this is a sign that you're ready. When you see the death card, it's actually a sign that you're done with that thing, whatever that is. It's but not just that you're done with it, but that you are in the cycle of rebirth. It could also mean that this relationship is it's not over, because there's still energy there between you. Could be that you might hear from them. It could be that you're like ready to reach out. If you were the one that was like, if the ball was in your court, maybe you're ready to reach out. Okay, strengths. What strengths are you bringing to this situation? I'm going to try to make these shorter. They were like all 25 minutes long yesterday. It was a very long reading. I'm going to try to shorten it up a little. Strengths you're bringing to the situation. Okay. Reciprocity. In the heart space. This is about loyalty and long-term commitment. Loyalty and long-term commitment. So if that's a relationship message, it's also about a commitment to something that you're passionate about. This is about you being in it for the long haul. So if this is about your writing in some way, this is about you really being committed. Okay, you're like, you're not going to quit. All right. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, there's something here about you knowing how you tie yourself up. You know your inner sabotage, your inner saboteur, like really, really well at this point. You've been working with it for a long time, releasing things. Maybe even letting, if this was a relationship, letting it go because you needed to. And you understand yourself, even though you haven't taken action, you understand the not taking action. You understand it's about fear. You understand that it's your choice to move forward from that. So there's something here about not doing your work. Alternately, it could be about, this could be a message about how you, this actually could be a message about work addiction. Maybe you've let go of all these things and you're not, and you're like kind of nose to the grindstone working so hard on your work. And there's a reminder here that this energy can be unhealthy if you're not careful with it, if you're not mindful of it. But it's also can be the energy of flow when you learn how to harness this kind of balance between doing your work and your saboteur. If you can harness that energy, it actually will empower your creative process. So like when I'm in the middle of writing a book, I can be like a real mad scientist. In empowerment coaching, we talk about archetypes, and like there's the mad scientist, and that's when you're like in overdrive to get something done, and it's a little uncontrollable on the creative energy. I get like that when I'm in certain phases of writing a book where I'm just like, I have to get this done. And, I'm not even burning dinner because I'm not cooking it, right? Like I'm just locked up here in my writing room, madly typing away and taking notes and like just lost in the story. So there's some of that energy here, but this is in the strength position. So what it tells me is that you've come to understand this part of the creative process for yourself, and you are ready to begin using that to your advantage, as opposed to letting it run your life, right? Right. Pitfalls to watch out for. Pitfalls to watch out for. Actually, I'm going to switch decks because I've got a lot out of this deck now. And I'm just going to switch. Pitfalls to watch out for. We're going to do internal and then external. Internal is things within your own thoughts, beliefs, mindsets, your own actions, bad habits. In other words, the saboteur. I feel like there could be a tendency for you to abandon projects in the middle and maybe not finish them. There's a tendency to be rigid or to give up your power. And there's an energy here of waiting. These two together. There's an energy of waiting for someone else to come in and like save you. So that can be the expectations that we place on the publishing industry to save us. Or if we're self-published, it could be the idea that somehow this, self-publishing is going to be the magic Band-Aid. And then we find out that there's more work, different kind of work on that path. Remember, this is disempowerment. This is about your pitfalls. So I'm not saying anything bad about self-publishing. I know a lot of people who are into self-publishing, and they enjoy it so much. They find it very, very empowering, and you could be that person, but this is about pitfalls. So I was just stating that you could feel that way. When you've walked away from the traditional path, you could feel unsure of whether you made the right choice. External pitfalls to watch out for. Again, pitfalls, when I talk about pitfalls, I'm not trying to bring the energy down at all. It's like a reality check. It's like, I'm going to turn on the light so you can see these things sitting in your way so that you can now go around them. You can now navigate around them. Whereas if we don't call them out, you might trip over them. This is when we call out our own saboteur, our own self-sabotaging energy. And we look at that and we say, oh yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing that, but I totally see it now. And I'm going to make a different choice. So if you're quitting on projects, this is a reminder that you don't have to stick with every project. Some projects are not meant to be finished. Likewise, some relationships, if this is you walking away, if this was this relationship and you walked away from it, there could be valid reasons for that. But when it's in the pitfalls position, it means that you're running away is what it means. So the question is, were you running away from the relationship? Are you running away from the project because it got hard? And when the emperor's not in his power, that's, the emperor upright, this is the guy who's got it all under control. And this could be the person who thinks they have it all under control or wants to project that they do. So they come at everything really forcefully, projecting a lot of pride and arrogance into the situation. And then this is like frustration with waiting. Like you don't want to be waiting. Like there's despair even. There could even be despair in the waiting. Instead of waiting for your ship to come in a positive way, it's like, is it ever going to get here? External pitfalls. So this is like, we're co-creating everything in our lives with the people that we surround ourselves with purposefully and the people who cross our paths unintentionally. And depending upon your idea of what fate or destiny is, or if it exists or not, I think that we can set ourselves up to react better. All right, there's definitely been some holding on. It's a pitfall, so that's probably, that's not the good kind of holding on. So it's interesting, the Four of Pentacles here and the Four of Pentacles here. I'm going to guess that there's still an influence in your life that is still very hung up on this stuff that you've let go of. That's an external pitfall. So once upon a time, this happens to, this is not, don't feel like this is just you. This is what happens to people. Once upon a time, you had built a life around having the material things, having the money, having the job, having the house, the paycheck. And there's nothing wrong with those things. I'm talking about sinking all of your identity and all of your goals and wishes into things. And there's still, I think there's still someone in your life, or somehow in your life you're still aligned. It might not be a partner, might be just a friend. It could be a friend that's close to you. Could be family influence also. Sometimes we have families that are aligned a certain way, and that's how we learn to value those things, is that we were raised in this family that valued it. There's something here about something about time, something about maybe karma. What goes around comes around is what I'm getting. And there's, again, something about choices. I think maybe you're again, this is like waiting for someone else to make a decision. You're stuck in that like crossed, I don't have any, this is not my choice, is what I'm hearing. Like I've done all I can and now I just wait. So that can be like a really helpless energy sometimes for writers, and taking your power back from that situation is really about, so when we push really hard on something, we kind of block it from coming to us. So there's something about that being a pitfall. Don't fall into that pitfall. And the way to do that is to put your focus elsewhere, to put your good energy elsewhere, and let this go. Trusting that you'll find out, it will happen when it's time. You just stay in the activity. Okay, there's something else here about you being passive. Yeah, so this is about taking action. The pitfall is not taking action. And they're saying that you don't just sit around and you don't wait for the thing. You don't wait for somebody to come make your day. You just get busy on the next book. If you get a rejection, you resubmit. If you think your query letter might be a mess, you fix it up. If you're looking for a new representation, you have to get busy on that. Like, it's not going to happen overnight, right? So this is about an action needing to be taken instead of just sitting here passively trying to decide, like will you or won't you? It's time. You've been putting it off. All right. Time for some guidance for you. That was a little bit of guidance. Here's a little more. Guidance for moving through this energy in your power. Taking risks. There it is. Taking a risk. Getting out there. Doing the thing. Taking action. Because nothing good happens. I mean, God knows we're all stuck on our couches right now. So many of us are. Not everybody. I mean, some of you guys are working your butts off more than ever. But a lot of us are sitting at home. You know, we're going through the motions. We're doing our thing. But we're not taking risks. And this is about getting out there. Sending the next letter. Writing the new book. Yeah, that came up the other day. It's about being true to what you really want. You got to remember this energy back here, all right? You've been building this foundation. Whatever this is, you've been building this. And not going for it is inauthentic. Not going for it is inauthentic. And you have to figure out about which risk is it that you're ready to take, that you're willing to take. Sometimes we have to be cautious about things, and sometimes we realize that we're just holding back for absolutely ridiculous reasons. And only you know which it is for you. But something tells me that there's a risk that you could be taking, that the risk could be to just be more authentic and just go for the thing. Okay, so next reading, I'm gonna throw those back in the deck and we'll be grabbing our next set of cards. All right, Everyday Witch Tarot. If you chose this deck, this is your reading. What's going on for the folks who chose this deck? Spirit, tell us what's going on for them. Page of Wands, Five of Swords, the World. Okay, there's a lot of resistance here. Okay, I'm getting that you started on this journey very, very excited and immediately got like kind of caught up in the weeds. So this is like I always call this the too many cooks in the kitchen card. This card is about you've got too much information from conflicting sources, and now you don't really know what to do. And this is about letting all that go. Okay, letting all of the outside influence go. Notice what's not around her, like all this kind of resistant energy, and then boom, she's, there's a nice breeze coming through. Her hat's taking off in the wind. So there's something here about needing to release this conflict in your mind or communication space. Could be beliefs as well. You could have some conflicting beliefs about the path that you've headed off on. It's about trusting that you're heading in the right direction. Sometimes we get addicted to needing more help, wanting more people around us, wanting more support. And so we join like a million things, and then all of a sudden you've got 400 people telling you what to do, and you're not getting help from anybody. And this is about trusting yourself. Trusting the thing that feels right to you. So if you're like just started writing a book and too many people are telling you how to do it, people get really blocked up by shoulds. So what's the person not seeing? Five of Wands has such a similar energy. It's the energy of real real struggle. This can actually be, because it's wands, it's fire, there can be like, there's a real, so this is just like conflicted thinking. And even through that conflict, you can see that she's like, she's trying to master something here. And, you know, the failure and the worry, but she's actually feeling really in charge. So there's something here about the process of figuring things out. And with the 5 of Wands, there's just a lot of like fiery conflict. So again, I think that just backs up the fact that you've got too many people telling you what to do. King of Cups in reverse again. Huh. I don't really have any reason to believe that is a relationship, although I guess it certainly could be a person. I mean, King of Cups is typically a lover, but it could also be a creative partner. It could be somebody that is around you who is holding back their supportive energy. Maybe you have a I wouldn't say unsupportive, because I don't think like he's actively not supporting you, but I think that it's like kind of a hesitance. There's a hesitant energy. Could be that you have a partner or someone in your family or a friend who you'd really like their support, and it's just, you don't feel like it's there. Whether it is or not, you don't feel like it's there. Page of Swords. I think this person actually will support you when you start showing up for yourself, though. For some reason, I'm getting that just from this reading. The Page of Swords, we'll see more if this pops up again. Page of Swords. Okay, you've got this reversed page energy. It's that you don't trust yourself. You just don't trust yourself. That's why you're engaging all of this. That's why you're allowing this in your mind space. Because if you trusted yourself, that wouldn't matter. You'd look at all these different things and you'd be able to sort through the advice and the help that's useful and the help that's not. So if you have all of that confusing you, it's a sign that you just don't trust yourself yet. But that's part of the process, okay? You don't have to become caught on that. It is part of the process of being a beginner. This is such beginner energy. Like, whoever you are, just keep at it, okay? And stop listening to everything everybody says. You gotta relax a little. Let yourself figure things out. Strengths you're bringing to the situation. Oh, you're trying so hard. You're still on your feet. You're still going. Okay? Oh. This is sweet energy. You are... I feel like you really, really want a writing community. And your effort to find a writing community has led to you being sort of, and I don't know if you're embroiled in conflict yourself or if you just feel it so strongly around you, but what you really want is the exchange. You're here for the exchange. You want the give and the take, and you just want to be connected to other people. But here you are feeling like you're just feeling so beat up, but you're still on your feet and you still have this to offer. Yeah, I'm going to pull a couple more strengths. I feel like you need them. Like, sometimes our desire for community leads us down a road of, like, the conflict starts popping up, and then we start to respect our sovereignty a little bit more. And I think that's what you're needing, is to respect, like, this beginner energy. But look how, like, resilient you are. All this conflict, and you still have an open heart. And you still want this. You still want the you're not hiding, you know? You're not hiding. Like I said, three more. Okay. I'm seeing you being able to use this time. Again, here you are alone. You're up here letting it go and trusting that you're heading in the right direction. And this is you getting really quiet and shutting all that noise out. This is your ability to do that, to get really quiet and trust yourself. That's what the Hermit is all about. It's about going to your writing room. If you're writing, or whatever your creative pursuit is, whatever this thing is for you, it's about going to your space and trusting that you have all the answers within if you just quiet down all the noise around you and listen a little bit, okay? You're like saying no to this sadness. You're saying no to these feelings of rejection. Sometimes we can feel really rejected when all the conflict wasn't even about us. Maybe it wasn't even about you. You understand deep down inside that you're ready to understand that deep down inside it's not about you, and let go of that sadness. And the Page of Cups, all the Pages of Cups are reversed. This is a strength. So I think you're ready to turn this around. I think you're ready to embrace that creativity is messy, and that our growth comes through allowing the mess for a while, allowing ourselves that process of being a beginner. Like, you can't jump from beginner mind to expert mind. The expert mind is accessed through the act of play, and through the, we talk about messy first drafts all the time. So allowing yourself to write that messy first draft. Let's go for some pitfalls. We've had plenty of them. I don't want to focus too long on pitfalls. Pitfalls to watch out for. Internal pitfalls. This is stuff in your internal space. Yeah, overthinking. I think that you have allowed other people to have power over you. And I don't think you're going to do that anymore. You're not going to do that anymore. You've let all these other people kind of dominate your experience of this thing, and you're ready to pull back and enjoy your process. This is like that. The Knight is that rushing energy. I always see it as, so some people be like, mental clarity. It can be mental clarity. This could be you getting mental clarity, but since it's in the pitfall situation, I think that this is that rushing to say something energies, that it's like the online space where it can be so much, like everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to say their truth. Everyone's brandishing their sword. And that's important for them in the moment, but as a bystander, sometimes you feel cut by it, even though you know that it wasn't for you. So I think you're going to let go of this, but that's what's been going on in the collective space, and that's what you've taken internally. You're ready to look at your truth now instead of everyone else's. External pitfalls. I feel like that was, but let's go ahead and pull that layer. I think someone in your past, the reason that you are what's the word? I hate it when I can't find the word. This happens to me all the time when I'm doing readings. It's not my normal thing. I usually have the word. So the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess together, There's something here about not like you not having a say because somebody else has the say. I think maybe it's possible that somebody in your past, somebody in your life growing up was very, very directive with you, told you what to think, told you what to do. And perhaps that, I'm not getting that they were mean about it, okay? There may not be any meanness in this. It's more just that you were an obedient child, or an obedient friend to somebody who consistently had their say. And that's that's the energy that sort of leads you to death by other people's opinion, is that you learned somewhere that, you should trust this other person over yourself because they would never lead you wrong. I mean, the high priestess would never lead you wrong, right? But there can be this energy with other people telling you what to do where what's right for them isn't right for you, is what I'm seeing. Guidance for this reading. Oh, I forgot to read. This is you feeling like an outsider. I feel like you may be worried. There's just a little bit of worry that you're not enough. But learning is a process. I mean, if you're a beginner, it doesn't matter what maybe you've written a bunch of novels. Maybe you're beginning in the marketing space. That's a whole different thing. Or swapping directions, going from self-pub to traditional pub or the other way. Has you feeling like a beginner again? Guidance, flow, allowing yourself to flow and opening yourself. Okay, so we've got a full moon in each of these, right? This is opening yourself to your own intuition, okay? You're not opening to other people. You've been open to other people. Now you're going to be more selective about who you allow into your inner space. Like, you've heard all the advice, right? And you know what resonates with you and what doesn't, I think. You've probably tried some, or if you don't, it's time to try some things. And here's your openness and your flow. It's time for you to open to your own intuition and to your own process. This is about letting yourself lead. Good luck, whoever you are. I think you're going to be just fine. We're going to move on to the next reading. And just give me a second to pick these up. Last one. Were you the Crow Tarot? This one was the one you chose? Crow Tarot. Reading number 3. What is my watcher going through right now? What's going on, Crow Tarot? Juggling. Juggling resources or projects. Making your offer and feeling fulfilled. So you might be you might be feeling pretty good in the outside space. Sometimes readings start like this. There's in the outside space, like you're feeling pretty good. But you wouldn't be watching a tarot reading if you weren't worried that something was coming next. So I have a sense that if you're feeling like things are going good, you're probably waiting for the other shoe to drop, which is what we do, and that actually does create the other shoe to drop, just so you know. Energetically, that's how that works. It's called an upper limit problem. What are you not seeing? There it is. That's what you're afraid of. So, I think you're quite literally juggling projects and resources, is what I think. I think you're really hopeful about whatever this offer is. You've just taken action. Just now, you're taking action, and you're putting something out into the world that means a lot to you. Means a whole lot to you, and this is like your hope and your outcome. You're just really hoping that it's going to end in abundance. You're really able to visualize that, and I think that's really powerful. So you have a definite image of what that looks like, and I love that because some people don't know what success looks like to them. But what you're not seeing. I think this is what you're not admitting to yourself. I don't think this is like any big revelation, honestly. That it's no coincidence that these all came out in the reverse. This is all resistance. So there's little niggling fears in the back of your head. You've got this worry about abundance. You're worried, like you want it, and you're like, I can totally picture myself having it, but there's a part of you that just doesn't. You just have resistance around it. It could be like that you just have some old beliefs about abundance, that it can't happen for you, or that it's too good to be true. You're worried that you won't be picked. You're worried that there's so much else out there that, like, why would my little offer be picked with all of these other cups are so fantastic? What's the likelihood that mine's going to get picked up? There's a message here about things moving slowly, or more slowly than you'd like. This is the Eight of Wands is a very like passionate energy. It always looks like arrows, right? Looks like arrows shooting off into, they're like always flying through the sky. So it's like and they're not they're kind of coming back at you, actually. Like maybe these are like your worries about like rejection letters for all these things. So what are you not seeing? I think that you have a lot of resistance deep down inside. Like you're hopeful, and that's good. We're gonna hang on to that hope, but these have to be dealt with. Strengths that you're bringing to the situation because you need to hear them. That's how we beat the. Oh. This came up in the last one. It was the Nine of Wands. Okay. You're still standing. It was in the strength position, you guys. So funny. Wasn't it? Wasn't in the strength position? Am I right? Maybe it was in the pitfalls. I'm not sure. All right, Knight of Pentacles. Strengths. Okay, you're a planner. You are a planner, and you have been, all along, you have been, I have a feeling that you kept your day job and you are showing up and writing every day, or on a regular basis at the very least. Like you've got your schedule down pat. You are not making any foolish moves with your money. Like you are dedicated and not all about taking big chances. And I really like the energy of the Knight of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups, because it means that you have achieved balance between this, you know, the heart-centered life, and you have turned this planning into this, or this into this. You've connected your heart and your groundedness. It's a grounded heart energy. I like that. Again, so heartfelt here. And maybe you have a relationship. I think maybe you have a relationship that's supporting you. This could be that you have a partner that just believes in you and trusts that you are going to make that you're going to make it. If it's not a relationship that believes in you, it could be a friendship, could be that you have, a close friend or a close family member. Somebody really close to you fully believes in you, and their love is really backing you up right now, and you're so grateful for it because you've needed it, right? That's one of the things that has given you so much strength. You have this stability and this love behind you. So that's really cool. So many writers don't feel like they have that. Okay, pitfalls. We're into pitfalls, aren't we? Okay, what do you need to watch out for? What do you actually need to watch out for? And let's talk about them. Pitfalls to watch out for that are internal. I think we already have 3 of them on the board here. We've got some like negative mindsets, negative beliefs maybe. I don't know. Like I actually think you're a positive person, and you just maybe have some beliefs that you have a lot of evidence for, so it's hard to change them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So you believe in this abundance. You believe that you have this power to be this abundant person, but you have this hope and this dream, but there's something inside of you that's telling you, this is an internal pitfall. There's something inside of you that just doesn't believe that you're that. Maybe some imposter syndrome going on here. Like, am I really doing this? Can I really do it? You are... I'm going to clarify the 7 of Swords. I think that you believe that that everything's a struggle. Maybe nothing's been easy for you. I feel like nothing's been easy for you except perhaps this relationship. It's nice to have one person on our side. Clarify 7 of Swords, please, Spirit. Okay. This is a... I feel like it's an easy come, easy go belief. Like you might believe that you can... Okay, so I can't help but notice again, I can't make this up, right? 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. There's not that many cards on the board here, and these 2 happen to pop up in the same reading from 2 separate decks. 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. There's something deep inside of you that sort of believes that the abundance isn't going to stay. That you almost feel like you don't deserve it. And maybe it's not really like... I don't think you have, it's the imposter syndrome, like you don't, I'm trying to say this in a way that, so that it doesn't sound like I'm saying that you don't have any trust in your own ability, because I think you actually do, you're doing it. It's just that deep down inside, you've got this old belief that easy come, easy go, the money comes in, the money goes out. And, and that any success you might have might be fleeting. So you have to watch out for that kind of thinking in the back of your head. Turn it around and think, why not me? Like, easy come, right? Like, I can do this and it's gravy, right? Like, if I succeed at this, it's my dream. But I actually have a good life. Like, it's not to make light of anybody who hasn't been able to achieve their dreams, but it's like about counting blessings in a way. Like, you have this ability to plan and take good care of yourself. So this, taking care of this is like all about self-actualization, taking care of this spark inside of yourself, staying engaged and offering and doing the thing. And you really you have a lot to be grateful for. And I don't, it's not that you should be grateful and not ask for more. It's that you are grateful, and that's what attracts more. Pitfalls to watch out for, external pitfalls, stuff that you don't control, other people, the weather. I always say you could argue with me esoterically, but down on the ground, this is what it feels like, okay? I have a feeling you're an overgiver. So be mindful of overgiving. I would say also be mindful of your own tendency to I was going to say to expect, like reciprocity, to expect. I think you actually expect the worst sometimes, to be honest. So I don't think this is about it having like I don't have a feeling that you have such sunny expectations. I think maybe an external pitfall is that you don't expect this. You don't expect reciprocity. And maybe you should. Maybe you should. Timing, other people's schedules are going to weigh heavily on whatever it is you're waiting on. And just because you're waiting doesn't mean that, you know, it's a no. And then we have it's not the king. I think it's the page. I get them confused in this deck sometimes. Looks like the page of wands. But he looks like a grown man, and usually the page of wands is a teenager or an older child. I mean, usually a teenager. So anyway, the page of wands is about, was it reverse? Either way, this is about it's about being kind of haphazard. I'm going to clarify that. I don't like what I'm hearing on that. Just because I don't understand it. Like, help me understand. All right. All right. Wow, there's so much movement here. External pitfalls. Okay, there's more reciprocity. Wow, why is this not speaking to me today? Okay, yeah. There's a tendency, this is a pitfall. I feel like it's more, it's external. Oh, okay. So I think this is actually a tendency to kind of get lost in the weeds of other people's, not their expectations so much, but like, maybe to be overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by overthinking. What's the overthinking? Attack thoughts. Not yours, I don't think. A tendency maybe to be overwhelmed by other people's. I haven't really felt a lot of external energy in this post, to be honest with you. So I feel like these must be they might be people in your life that have, oh, that's what it is. These are unsupportive people. These are unsupportive people in your life. That's what I'm getting. And the message here is to let them, okay, you're in exchange with them. They don't define you. And you can't allow them to determine how you feel about your relationship to your craft. Okay, so that's what that is. It took me a minute, sorry. It's definitely about these people in your life who I feel like their focus, they're just kind of stuck in their own way of thinking is all. They're not bad people necessarily. They could be like the Queen of Cups is not forceful. This could be someone who loves you very, very much and wants to protect you. Again, she might want to protect you from disappointment. There's always someone who wants to remind you that, you know, this might not work out for you. And here I'm getting a sense of somebody who is very intellectual, and isn't afraid to tell you their opinion at any moment. And the Page of Wands is it's so funny because the picture doesn't match what I usually have as the meaning for that, what the card usually means to me. This card does not speak to it. This to me is usually a dilettante or somebody who is very like passionate but flighty, and he's not have that feeling at all. He feels very solid in his interests. So maybe that means something to you. And if it doesn't, I wouldn't let the whole thing throw it off. Maybe it means something to, it might be a message for one person, literally one person. So let's go to guidance for this reading. Some guidance for you moving forward. I love it when I spend a million years trying to figure something out. Sometimes my own guidance steps out of the room. There's that purity card again. Oh my gosh, an inner peace. So staying true to you. Staying connected to this feeling that when you're doing this thing that you feel so like empowered. You feel so, you feel sovereign when you're doing this. And I want you to stay connected to that. Think of it less like a life goal that you have to achieve, that, you know, or a destination that you have to be at, and think of it in terms of being, embodying your higher self, really. Like you feel so lit up and excited and amazing when you're doing this thing. So try to lean into that energy instead of what it is that you think you want, and you will find probably that these resistance things will melt away. It's about focusing on your inner peace. When you are in this energy, you are at inner peace, and all this other stuff just goes away. So that's all I have for you guys today. That's your forecast for December. I'll be back to do some readings in a few days. I'm trying to upload 3 times a week. I'm shooting for 3 times a week right now. And on full and new moons. So look for me again in a few days. If you liked this reading, if you got any value out of it, I'd be just so happy if you liked and subscribed, or left me a comment, because it lets me know that you're getting something out of the content that I'm posting. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll be back soon. Bye.